صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله. صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله. روحي وجسمي وأرواح العالمين لك الفداء. يا غريب يا مظلوم يا شهيد بأرض كربلاء. When we go for ziyarat in Najaf, we recite this particular ziyarat, but not to Imam Ali. We recite it to Imam Hussein from Najaf. Assalamu alayka ya sariya dam is-sakiba. Assalamu alayka ya sahib al-musibatu ratiba. Assalamu alayka wa la jaddika wa abik. Assalamu alayka wa la ummika wa akhik. Ashhadu أنك لقد طيب الله بك التراب وأوضح بك الكتاب يا ابن الميامين الأتياب. Peace be upon you, all for whom the tears flow continuously. Assalamu alayka ya sahib al-musibatu ratiba. Peace be upon you who had continuous musibah on the day of Ashura. لقد طيب الله بك التراب. Allah has made this earth pure because of you. وَأَوْضَحَ بِكَ الْكِتَابِ. And the book of God has become clear for us now. We understand it because of you, Yabda Rasulullah. Azadar and Hussein, when we do the matam today, my request is make sure that there's no najasat on this area because we pray on this area. It's the day of Ashura, the day of Qiyamah as far as I can see. The whole episode of Karbala only makes sense when we understand the struggle of Ibrahim, that struggle of monotheism, of Tawheed, of oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the struggle for Ibrahim was that of Tawheed. And Tawheed is not only means to believe in one God, it demands spiritual and moral awareness within us. It tells us that your loyalty is not to kings, not to thrones, it is only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The struggles of Imam Hussein tell us about the links between faith and human dignity. As somebody said very clearly, if you have nothing to die for, then you have nothing to live for. Because Hussein, his sacrifices cause deep moral and spiritual awareness in us. It generates loyalty and commitment to his cause. Azada Rana Hussein, there was something about Imam Hussein that really bothered him. It wasn't only that Yazid was asking for bay'ah, but also the Muslims were willing to give him that bay'ah. That the Yazid, was the one who was flouting, destroying all the principles, the sunnah of the Prophet. And yet people were prepared to call him the Amir and give him bay'ah. Something was wrong in the conscience of Muslims. Imam Hussein could not give bay'ah to Yazid. Simply because if he gave bay'ah, then everybody else would say, if Hussein gave bay'ah, why shouldn't we? It was the status that Imam Hussein had in front of the people. Azad Arani Hussein, these Banu Umayyah, their atrocities knew no bounds. Therefore, Imam Hussein says to the army of Hur, أَلَا تَرَوْنَ أَنَّ الْحَقَّ لَا يُعْمَلْ بِهِ وَالْبَاطِلَ لَا يَتَنَهَى عَنْهُ. Don't you see, O people, the truth is not being practiced and falsehood is not being forbidden? إِنِّي لَا أَرَى الْمَوْتَ إِلَّا السَّعَادَةِ. I do not see death except as a way towards everlasting happiness. وَالْحَيَاةَ مَعَ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا بَرَمًا. But to live with these oppressors is humiliation. I will die in dignity and in honor, but I will not be humiliated. I will not be living a life of oppression. These Banu Umayyad were the ones who totally destroyed the principles of Islam. Yazid's forces came to Medina at the Battle of Harra, and they killed so many people in Medina, raped women, and then went to Mecca and even burnt the Kaaba. And they were supposed to be the leaders of the Muslims. Not only that, Bukhari is telling us that a reporter by the name of Zuhri, he went to Damascus once and he saw somebody sitting in the mosque and crying. He went up to him and he recognized him. It was Anas bin Malik, a companion of the Prophet. Zuhri tells him, "Oh Anas, why are you crying?" Anas said, "What shall I tell you, Zuhri? Everything that the Prophet has left for us has been destroyed by this Banu Umayyah. Even the Salat has been changed now. Why should I not cry?" These are the same people. Hisham, the caliph of the time, he hung the Quran at the wall and would shoot arrows at the Quran. Why would not Imam Hussein then stand up against these people? Asadar and Hussein, it is because of Imam Hussein that the Shias and the Muslims in general woke up. And that is why when he was asked to give bay'ah to Yazid, even in Medina, by Walid bin Utbah, what does Imam Hussein say? Mithli la yubayi'u mithla. Those like me will never give bay'ah to those like him. This is not a battle between Hussein and Yazid. It is between right and wrong, truthful and falsehood. That is why Allama Iqbal was so correct when he said, many a person was born after his death. Many a person was born after his death because he opened our eyes when his eyes were closed. He opened our eyes when his eye was closed. Iqbal also says that Islam comes to life every Muharram through Karbala. Why? Because just as Salat purifies us, Karbala makes us morally aware. It awakens our conscience, tells us that we should only dedicate our lives to Allah. And wherever there is wrong, you cannot be indifferent. You cannot be quiet. Karbala is a moral educator. It tells us so many different lessons. Look at what happened to her. That when he saw what was going to happen, he says, Inni khayru nafsi bain al jannah wa nar. I'm choosing between myself, within myself, between heaven and hell. I know what I did was wrong. Karbala is showing us what it means to be totally loyal. Because these Sahaba, when they were given a choice by Imam Hussein, that you may leave me now, these people only want me. I'm removing the bay'ah from you. Or they stood up one by one, says, Yabna Rasulillah, we will die 1,000 times in front of you, but we will not leave you. Azadarana Hussein. Today is the day of Ashur. When the morning came, Hussein turns to Ali Akbar. Oh, bet Ali Akbar, give the adhan. Why Ali Akbar? Why not anybody else? Because Ali Akbar's voice resembled that of the Prophet. His kirdar, his character, his behavior, everything he did resembled the Prophet. Maybe Imam Hussein wanted to remind these Kufans the voice of the Prophet. Therefore, he turns to Ali Akbar. You know what does Imam do on the day of Ashur before anything else? He brings all the tents together, so that these enemies would not attack the tents. And then he puts a fire at the rear of the tent, because he knows that these enemies, these so-called Muslims, would even go from the rear and attack Imam Hussein. So therefore he put a fire at the rear of the tents, and then he took those letters which his people of Kufa wrote to him, and he burnt those letters. Why? So that after him, none of these Kufans would suffer at the hands of Ibn Ziyad, Asadar Hussein. One by one, the companions give their lives for Hussein. The first one was Muslim bin Awsaja. But before that, Imam Hussein, he lines up his army in front of him. On the one side is Zuhair bin Qayn. On the other side is Habib bin Madahir. In the middle is Abbas himself, who Zuhair and Habib go to speak to the enemy. He says, why do you want to kill Hussein? What has done wrong to you? You invited him, now you are killing him. They said, nothing but the bay'ah will do. And then Imam Hussein himself, he perfumed himself. He wore the abba of the Prophet, and he came to the enemies. He came to the enemies with the camel in one hand and the Quran on the other. Ya ayyuhan nas i'lamu inna ad-dunya darul falah. Oh, people, know that this world will not retain forever. This is going to be fana. Oh, people. Hussein did not want to leave any excuse for any people to say that we did not know what Hussein was, who Hussein was. Therefore he says, oh people, in sabuni man ana. Trace your lineage, see who I am. Don't you know who I am? Ana ibn Abi Talib, Ana ibn Zahra. I am the son of Ali. I am the son of Fatima. I am the grandson of the Prophet. Oh people, look east or west, you will not find any other grandson of the Prophet apart from me. Take this Quran, oh people. Have I done anything wrong? Have I violated the Quran? Have I made halal into haram? Have I made haram into halal? Why do you want to kill me, oh people? Why do you want to put so much adhab on yourself? Have I changed the Sharia? Was Hamza and Ja'far not my uncles? Didn't you hear the Prophet said, Al-Hasan wal-Hussein, Sayyid al-Shababi Ahl al-Jannah? I am that Hussein. Didn't my grandfather say, Husseinu minni wa ana min al-Hussein? I am that Hussein. Oh people, if you do not believe me, ask Jabir ibn Allah Ansari, ask Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, ask Anas bin Malik. They heard the Prophet say this. Oh sheath, you wrote to me, oh sheath, that the rains have ripened, the seasons have changed. Come to us. I have come to you. Now you want to kill me, oh sheath. But nobody wanted to hear anything. Omar ibn Sa'ad fired the first arrow towards Imam Hussein. He said, let the fighting begin. Initially there was single combats one by one, but Ibn Sa'ad realized that they could not win against Hussein with single combat. Therefore they attack from different sides. A time comes when Abu Wahab goes. Even his wife was killed by the slave of Rustam. Then John, the black slave, goes and he says, they will see today how a black man fights against them. Muslim bin Ausaja, when he falls on the ground, he calls Hussein. He says, I want to do wasiyah to Habib. Habib comes to Muslim. Oh Muslim, what can I do for you? Muslim points to Imam Hussein, says, Habib, make sure that when Hussein dies, you should not be alive. Hazadar and Hussein. Just before noontime, the first onslaught came, a very fierce onslaught from different sides. A time comes when Habib ibn Madahir goes to the battlefield. Hussein hugs Habib, and then he says, as Habib is going to the battlefield, Rahimakallahu ya Sheikh, may Allah have mercy upon you, O Sheikh. If only these people knew who they were about to kill. A time comes when Buraid al-Hamadani, he comes to the Sayyid al-Shuhada. He wants to go to the battlefield. He recognizes Yazid bin Muqil, his friend on the opposite side. He called him, says, Yazid, we are two friends. Why do you want to kill Hussein? Then Buraid says, we will do the Mubahila today, right here. Whoever wins the battle between us is on the true path. Buraid won that particular battle. Azadar and Hussein. One by one, the companions are giving their lives. A time comes when Abu Thumama comes to Hussein, says, Yabna Rasulillah, I see that death is coming towards us. I will die before you. But my final wish is that you should lead us in prayer. We should pray behind you. These prayers was no ordinary prayers. It was not Salatul Dhuhr and Asr. It was Salatul Khawf. Zuhair and Sa'id were guarding Imam Hussein. As Imam Hussein was praying, they would shoot arrows. They would shoot spears at Hussein. Sa'id took all the arrows on his chest. Hazadar and Hussein. Zuhair also would shield Imam Hussein. As soon as the Imam finished his prayer, Sa'id fell on the ground. The Imam goes through him. Sa'id opens his eyes. He says, Awafaitu yabna Rasulillah. Have I been successful? Have you finished your prayers? Zuhair was wounded, yet he continues to fight. Azadar and Hussein. What broke Hussein most was when Ali Akbar fell on the ground. This 57-year-old, when Ali Akbar is going, Ali says, oh my father, you have allowed me to go while you keep walking behind me. Hussein says, if only you were a father, you would know what Hussein is going through today. This is not only Ali Akbar going, a part of Hussein is going with him. When Ali Akbar cries out and he says, Assalamu alayka ya Amata. At that time, Hussein could not even see. Ya Ali, Ya Ali. He comes to the battlefield. Tell me, where are you? A time comes when Abbas falls on the ground. Assalamu alayka ya Akha. Hussein's back is broken now. He says, Wa Abbasa, Wa Akha. Abbas says, oh my brother, do not take my body back to the tent. I promised Sakina water. I could not fulfill it. Azadar and Hussein. A time comes, as we said it today, 7 times when Hussein goes back and forth from the battlefield to the khayma. He does not know what he will answer. Rubab. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Ridan biqadaihi wa tasliman li amrihi. Azadar Hussein. Hussein now is all alone. He looks to the right, he looks to the left, his whole army is gone. Aina anta ya Abbas? Aina anta ya Habib? Aina anta ya Zuhair? Aina anta ya Ali? Nobody's answering the call now. Even little Ali Asghar has gone, given his life. Hussein comes for the final time to the khayma. Assalamu alayki ya Zainab. Assalamu alayki ya Marabab. Assalamu alayki ya Sakina. Be prepared now. I'm going to give my life. Sadarana Hussein. The ladies surrounded Hussein. They would not let him go. Only Allah knows how Hussein was prepared how to go. But before he goes, he calls Zainab. Oh, Zainab, you are going to be now the head of the army. This little army of women and children. Be strong. Be courageous. Zainab says to her brother, come close to me. Hussein comes close. You know what Zainab does? She kisses the neck of Hussein. Why are you doing this, Zainab? She said, this is the wasiyah of our mother on the day of Ashura. Kiss that neck on which the knife of Shimr will go. Hussein says to Zainab, you come close to me too. He kisses the hands of Zainab. Why are you doing this? This is also the wasiyah of our mother. Oh Hussein, kiss those hands on which the ropes will go on the hands of Zainab. Azadar Hussein. Now then for the final farewell. Zainab takes her brother to the khayma of Sayyid Sajjad. Oh, better Sajjad, your father has come to you. Wake up, Sajjad. Oh, Zainul Abidin opens his eyes. He sees his father. The only question he asks, Ya Amata, Aina Mi Abbas? Where is my uncle Abbas? Because he knew if Abbas was alive, Hussein would not be in this state. Hussein points to the river. Your uncle is lying at the river. Aina Akhi Ali. Where is my brother Ali? Hussein said, do not ask anymore. Apart from you and me, there is no male adult alive anymore. Hussein is giving the wasiyah to the next imam after him. And then he says, oh, better Sajjad, when you go back to Medina, when you return to Medina, give my salams to my Shias and tell them that when you drink water, remember the thirst of Hussein. Remember the thirst of Hussein, because for 3 days he had no water. He would not even drink any water. They would not give him or his army or the children any water. Azadar Hussein. Hussein now is prepared now, ready to go to battlefield. He turns to Kulthum, bring me some old clothes. She brings some clothes. He tears them up. Why are you tearing these clothes? Hussein said, so that when I am dead, at least they will leave my body alone. They will not take the clothes because they are old and torn. Azadar and Hussein now is prepared to go to the battlefield. He sits on his horse. Take me to the battlefield. The horse doesn't move. Riwayat said, oh, this is the final time. The horse doesn't move. The horse bows his head on the ground. Hussein looks on the ground. Little Sakina says, do not take my father to the battlefield. Whoever has gone there has not come back. Do not make me a thief. Hussein comes down on the ground. Oh, Sakina, let me go. Sakina cannot let her father go. How can I let you go? How can I sleep at night without you? Sakina suddenly, she sits on the lap of Hussein, and then she goes off to sleep and she wakes up. Oh, my father, you may go now. What happened, Sakina? She says, I just saw my grandmother, Fatima Zahra. She says, oh, Sakina, we are waiting for Hussein. Do not delay him anymore. Hussein comes to the battlefield. Nobody would dare come in front of him. Hussein says, you want to fight? Come and fight with me. Nobody would come. They said to Umar ibn Sa'd, this is not Hussein. This is Ali ibn Abi Talib we are fighting. This is no ordinary human being. Hussein now is nearing the water. Umar ibn Sa'd said, do not let Hussein go near the water. They said, we cannot stop him. Umar says, I know how to stop him. He says to Hussein, the army is now at your tent. The enemy is your tent. Hussein, he comes out near the water and said, how dare you go near my tent? Hussein is still alive. Azadar and Hussein, they are attacking him from all sides now. Hussein is surrounded by the enemy. They are pelting stones, arrows, spears, anything they could. They are firing at him. Imam as-Sadiq says, oh, my grandfather Hussein. Normally when somebody falls on the ground, his body touches the ground. There were so many arrows on my grandfather. He could not even touch the ground. There were arrows sticking out. Hussein says, Bismillah wa billahi wa la sunnati Rasulillah. Hussein now is on the ground. Nobody would dare go next to him. People would come to kill him, but they saw the eyes of Hussein, the light in the eyes of Hussein. They saw the Prophet in front of them. Nobody could come close to him until Shimr Mal'un comes close to him. Azadar Hussein, Sinan bin Anak strikes Hussein. Shimr removes the Zainab, goes to Zainul Abidin, says, oh, better Sajjal, come and see what happened. Sayyid Sajjal comes out of the tent. What does he see? The head of his father at the end of the spear. Ala qutil al-Husayn bi ard Karbala. Ala dhubi al-Husayn bi ard Karbala. Hussein is no longer alive. Hussein has been killed. The Malaika say, Ala qutil al-Husayn bi ard Karbala. Hussein has been killed in the Karbala. Wow, Hussein. Matam hai Hussein. Hussein, Hussein, Hussein. Hussein, Hussein.